I don't camp alone anymore. Not after that night. I was about 5 miles off trail, deep in the forest, completely alone. Or at least, I thought I was. Around 1:30 in the morning, I heard footsteps outside my tent, but they didn't walk past. They just kept circling. This happened 2 years ago during a solo backpacking trip. I had hiked most of the day to reach a small clearing I found on the map. It was a good spot. Flat ground, trees spaced out, far enough from the trail that no one would accidentally wander through. I remember thinking, this is probably the most alone I've ever been. No roads, no cabins, no other campsites, just trees in every direction. I set up my tent before dark, made a small fire, ate dinner, and everything felt normal. Actually, it felt peaceful. The kind of quiet you only get deep in the woods. By around 10:30, I got into my tent and went to sleep. Everything was normal until I woke up to a sound. At first, I didn't move. I just listened. Slow footsteps on leaves, crunch, crunch, crunch. They were close, really close, right outside my tent. I remember telling myself, it's probably a deer. But I've heard deer before. Deer walk fast, and they don't walk in circles. These footsteps were slow, slow and steady, and they were going around my tent. One full circle, then another. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I could hear the footsteps move from one side of the tent to behind me, to the other side, then back to the front, just walking in circles. I checked my phone. 1:32 a.m. I didn't unzip the tent. I didn't say anything. I didn't move. I just listened. After a few minutes, the footsteps stopped, right in front of the tent door. Then there was silence, the kind of silence that feels heavy, like something is there, waiting. I could hear my own breathing, loud, fast. And then I heard something else, breathing, outside the tent, slow, steady, breathing. I slowly reached for my flashlight. I didn't want to turn it on, because turning it on meant I had to look. But the breathing was right there, just on the other side of the tent wall. So I turned on the flashlight and pointed it at the tent wall. And I saw a shadow, a person's shadow, standing right in front of the door, not moving, just standing there. I froze. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. And then, the shadow moved. Slowly, it walked away from the tent. I heard the footsteps again. Crunch, crunch, crunch. But this time, they didn't circle the tent. They walked off into the trees. I stayed awake the rest of the night. I didn't sleep. I didn't leave the tent. I just waited for morning. And right when I started to calm down, I heard something in the distance, whistling, faint, far away, somewhere out in the trees. The same tune, over and over again. I don't know how to explain it, but somehow, I knew it was the same person who was outside my tent. As soon as the sun came up, I packed my gear as fast as I could. I just wanted to get back to the trail, back to where there were people. Before I left, I looked around the campsite. There were footprints all around my tent. Boot prints, not animal tracks. Boot prints. They circled my tent over and over. But what scared me the most was this. There was a second set of footprints, barefoot, and those barefoot tracks stopped right next to my tent door. I never found out who was out there that night, and I never went back to that area again. But sometimes when I'm hiking and the woods go quiet, I get this feeling like I'm being watched. And sometimes, late at night, when the wind moves through the trees just right, I hear whistling coming from somewhere deeper in the woods. This is log number 002. Something was outside my tent. If you ever wake up in the middle of the night and hear footsteps outside your tent, don't open it.